to today's history lesson. So, our learning objective. As a historian, can I create a timeline of events that featured in the space race? Okay, so what is the space race? Now, you'll notice there's two flags here. Now, you'll definitely have seen the flag on the right before, but the flag on the left, maybe not, okay? And this is the flag of the Soviet Union, all right? And this was a country that has now, it no longer exists, okay? It was disbanded in the 1990s. However, back in the time period we are studying, it was very much a country, okay? And the two countries, Soviet Union and the USA, they were the two superpowers of the world that came out of World War II. All right, they were the big countries with all the money and all the ambition to sort of take on the world. And part of this ambition was expressed in their desire to explore space, okay? They were the two countries that were really going for it. And this is what we're going to be learning about today, okay? It became known, this competition between them became known as the space race, all right? And they were both fighting to become the first one to achieve various space-related milestones. And it took place between 1955 to 1975, okay? So not too long ago. Right, and the space race was, as we talk about this competition, it was part of the competition between these two countries that became known as the Cold War, okay? Now, don't worry too much about the Cold War. It's a huge topic in its own right, okay? And I'm sure you will study it in more depth one day. But essentially, rather than directly fighting each other, like what happened in World War II, okay, with countries directly fighting each other, they fought indirectly, so things like spying, backing opposite sides in wars between other countries without ever actually fighting each other, and inventing better technologies, okay? And this race to become the first people to do things in space was all part of this competition, okay? They wanted to show, look, oh, we put a person on the moon before you, or we put the first person in space, okay? They were vying for each other to show who was the dominant superpower in the world, okay? And really, this was a huge factor behind. Do you remember where we spoke about how the first person went into space in the same decade as the first person on the moon, okay? So an incredible rate of progress for humankind. And a lot of it was down to this kind of pressure and this real sense of competition between these two enormous countries, okay? They drove what was the early days of space exploration, okay? So it's a fascinating topic. I think you're going to really enjoy reading about it and learning about it. So your task is you need to research the space-related milestones on the following page, okay? And you will need to find out which country achieved each milestone, place them on a clearly labeled timeline, and provide a little bit of information about each one, okay? Here I have my timeline, for example, and then I could put my events in here, and then I could, like I say, it went from 1955 to 1975, so that's the roughly 20 years, that's the period you're going to be looking at, okay? And you're going to be researching these yourself using whatever you've got, your iPad, your tablet, your laptop, whatever you've got, okay? You can use that to help you. So, key milestones. You're going to find out first satellite into space, okay? So who sent the first satellite into space? When did it happen? What happened? Like, what was it called? All these types of things, okay? A little bit of information, remember? You're going to find out who was the first human on the moon, who was the first woman in space, the first animal in space. Now, these aren't in chronological order, okay? I've done this just so otherwise it would be too easy for you just to pick them, put them onto the timeline. So you need to work out when they took place and be really accurate and make sure your timeline is correct. So plan out in advance, okay? So don't put them all in one bit and then realize you've got no room left, okay? First animal in space, first human in space, first spacewalk, and the first joint mission between the USA and the Soviet Union. Now, the reason why that one is on there is because you'll notice when they started to join joint missions, well, then the space race faded away, okay? If you look and see back in, it finished in 1975, okay? There's a little hint there about why the space race ended, okay? Why it kind of fell apart and was no longer really a thing. I've just got some pictures here to get you thinking. So we've got something that looks a bit like a satellite there. We've got a dog that looks like they're ready for an adventure. And then we've got an astronaut who seems to be doing some kind of spacewalk, okay? Right, so your bronze. I can create a basic timeline that outlines the key events that made up the space race, okay? So you're just going to put in the dates and you're going to tell me what the event was and give me a really short description about what that was, okay, for bronze. For silver, as above, and I can start to explain the significance of each event, okay? So you can start to tell me why that event mattered. How did that event help future space exploration, okay? What was the impact of those events? You're going to start to give that a go and explain that, okay? And then gold, as above, I can start to explain some of the reasons why the space race came to an end, referencing the Cold War between the USA and the Soviet Union, okay? So we spoke about how this had a finite time. Okay, it was 20 years, and then it came to an end. So gold is you're going to be really challenging yourself to do some research and work out, well, why did it come to an end? Okay, what were the reasons behind that? So that's your gold. Okay, can't wait to see how you get on. I think it's going to be fantastic. It's a really interesting subject. Okay, and make sure your timeline is nice and clear. Okay, nice and clear. So you can include pictures if you like. Okay, I don't mind how you present it. I can't wait to see what you come up with. And yes, I will see you soon. Thank you very much.